right, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. You live in a beautiful place. Look at that. Look out the window right there, Robin. Look at that, right?
It's gorgeous.
You know, it's something we take for granted. We could easily mess it up. If I remember when I was a kid, there was a commercial in New York. It might have been national. I don't know. I was a kid. I didn't even know the difference between local and national. But the commercial was, what's one little piece of litter? And the little cartoon guy throws a crumpled piece of paper onto the street. He says, it's nothing, one little piece of litter. But what's 100,000 pieces of litter? And then you see that if we all don't do our part, and gosh, you can see evidence of that in this parking lot. I don't know who cleans it up, but when I get here in the morning, it needs to be cleaned up. I don't know how people can think it's okay to leave bags of fast food on the ground. It just doesn't make sense to me. Tracy Schmitt is in the studio. She called and she asked if she could be on, she called to ask if we could help promote something she was doing, and I said absolutely, because what you are doing is something we support and we want to be participating in it. And not only is it to help, clean the environment, but also to help the schools. So Tracy is an advocate for working together in helping to save our Earth by recycling. And she's the spokesperson for the Bellevue Middle School Gently Used and New Shoe Drive fundraising event. So good morning, Tracy. Thank you for coming in.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be here.
How did I do on that intro? Did I get anything wrong? Let's correct anything I made a mistake on.
No, you didn't, except I just want to make it clear that I am with the Bellevue Middle School PTO, which is the parent and teacher organization of the school. So that's what, we are actually teaming up with the school to be able to raise some funds to filter back in for the students.
So what happens to the shoes that we donate? What happens to them?
It's amazing what actually happens to them. They are going to be going to developing countries who basically, some of these people make $2 a day.
Oh my gosh.
And these shoes are going to wholesalers that will distribute it to people that are able to make little businesses and resell these shoes, and they're able to make a better living for themselves and their children.
Really?
Yes.
So if I find my initials imprinted on the bottom of my shoe, my name will be in every footprint. In those I'm teasing.
Pretty much, but we are trying to get gently worn shoes.
Well, so how does the school benefit from this? Because they buy
this part, yes.
The wholesale buys them.
The company that's purchasing them from us is called Funds2Org, and they're buying it from the school for 40 cents a pound, and then they are making money from selling these shoes to the wholesalers. So everybody makes money along the way, but everybody benefits as well, because we're not only recycling, but we're also helping these people better their lives in developing countries.
And that's how you're helping the students, because then the students will realize the plight of the other people in the countries, and this is like their stepping off point where they notice that, hey, they can help in their own way, and hopefully that'll still be instilled in them when they become adults.
Yes, that's one reason I really loved this. Whenever this fundraiser I was approached with it, I'm like, what better way to teach our students? We take so much for granted over here in the United States. Whenever this company approached me, just the facts of we throw away over 600 million shoes a year within the U.S.
Wow.
Which is, in population,
my gosh,
we have over 300 million people in the U.S. population-wise, but that's population with Haiti and several other countries that we can put together, and we take that for granted. But not only are we recycling and keeping these shoes out of the landfills, but we're also benefiting the students at a local level too.
So what do we do? Bring the shoes to you?
You can bring them to either Bellevue Middle School. We have drop-off boxes there, and we also have several businesses in the community that are willing to help us out as drop-off locations. We have PDQ located on Highway 200.
Okay.
Great company to work for. They really help sponsor the schools in a lot of different ways. Okay. Not only are they going to help.
Do you work for them? Have you?
I do not.
Do not, okay. Because they've got good chicken.
They do, but the manager, Charles Stevenson, is such a wonderful man, and he promotes PDQ in a lot of different ways, but he helps the community, like PDQ, he says, really helps the community in a lot of different ways. So he has helped me with a lot of fundraisers, just letting you know that, and he helps a lot of schools. But he's not only helping us be a collection point, he's also going to be helping the employees donate shoes as well towards our towards our fundraiser.
Oh, excellent.
And the other location is Mojo's Grill and Catering on Mojo's.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm sorry. I pronounce it differently. Mojo's, located on Silver Springs Boulevard, and Henry, the manager there, they were very, very helpful. They really wanted to help sponsor us, and he even offered to do a collection day. Like they'll offer free appetizers for people that bring in a certain amount of shoes, but we'll deal
really?
with that. At another
I wonder
time.
what goes good with a shoe. Just
Don't know if we really want to go there or not.
But so do we have a deadline? When do we need to bring you the shoes by?
Yes, I am. My deadline is, okay, our goal is to get 300 bags of 25 pairs of shoes each. So that's over 7,500 shoes that we're trying to collect.
Okay.
My goal is we either raise the 300 bags or we go to the end of May whenever school gets out. So I'm trying to, have this fundraiser go a little while.
I got you, yeah.
But so you have plenty of time to bring in your shoes at the location drop-off spots.
And the way that the students grow so fast in a short amount of time, that is really amazing too, because once, they start growing out a pair of shoes, they're not really totally worn out.
It's true. And I know, like, my son, unfortunately, he does wear some of his shoes out completely, but they're like the dress shoes and things like that don't always get completely worn out. But I'm thinking we're probably going to get more adult shoes than kid shoes, but if you want to donate some brand new shoes, we're always willing to take brand new shoes as well. So, I mean, if you find a pair of shoes on sale and you want to donate it, feel free to drop it off at one of the locations.
Now, without naming names, because obviously these are businesses, but if there was a discount store that had the real cheap shoes, I've seen shoes for like $5. Is that okay?
That is fine.
That's
these
fine, okay.
children and these adults don't have any shoes. I mean, the percentage of vehicles in these countries is minimal. So their transportation is shoes. So you have to think that whatever shoes you donate, they are helping these people get to work. They're helping these kids, not get blisters on their feet from being, I mean, we take so much for granted over here.
Yeah, absolutely.
We worry about what shoe we're going to wear instead of worrying about, oh my goodness, I have no shoes.
Right,
I mean, these kids don't even think about shoes because they just don't have them.
Right.
So high heels are out then.
High heels are fine because
they
these
are
people
fine.
can wear them when they go to their job. If they're in the city, they just can't afford to go pay for a brand new pair of heels. But as long as the heel's in a good condition where it's not torn up or anything like that,
See, that was a great question, Robin. I wouldn't have thought that would be okay, because I'm not picturing an urban situation. But obviously some of these people are in cities.
Yes.
And they have jobs.
They just can't afford.
What are they wearing right now?
Probably not the best looking things, but they wear what they can.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, but it makes they're able to afford to purchase them when they're used. Whereas instead of going and paying $50 for a pair of pumps, they can afford to pay $5 or $10 for a pair of used pumps.
Oh my.
So if you have any shoes that you can donate, new or gently used, make sure you have odor eaters in them if they're used. I'm teasing. Tracy Schmitt is here to encourage you to donate those shoes to the shoe drive fundraising event. So far we know you can bring these shoes to Bellevue Middle School. You can bring them to Mojo's on East Silver Springs Boulevard. You can bring them to PDQ here on 200, not too far from the mall, which has good chicken, by the way.
Yeah.
Mojo's has good food too, by the way.
Are there any programs at Bellevue Middle School that will be helped out from the shoe drive?
Oh yeah.
Yes, there will be many programs. I know right now we just got a new principal on staff. We did have Mr. Ellers, who is a wonderful principal as well. We currently have Dr. Gary that has recently filled his position, and he has very big goals for the school right now. And
he had big shoes to fill.
Exactly, big shoes to fill as well. But he has very big goals for the school coming in, and I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but they have a pilot program called the Cambridge program. It's an ACE program.
You mentioned it off the air, but I honestly don't know anything about that.
It is a college preparatory program that they just started last year.
Well, I'm glad they're doing that. That sounds good.
Mr. Ellers brought that in. I mean, he worked very hard to bring that into the school, and it's a huge thing. And it is basically, it's life-changing for the school itself. So the goals are to make that program better. So funds will be funneling into that program to help with either software that the school can't afford right now, or just different things like that to help the students. We also have an accelerated reading program that the funds, they don't have a lot of extra money laying around for incentives for these kids to reach these goals that they put out for them in reading so many books to make a goal. So their goal is to help their reading and their comprehension levels, because as they go on and into high school, I mean, these tests that they have to take, the papers they have to write, they really need a lot of reading and comprehension.
One of the things that Dr. Mayer came in here, the superintendent of schools, and she was talking to us, and one of the things that impressed me about her agenda is the stressing the importance of reading. Because anybody who knows, you can learn, once you can read, you can learn anything, right?
Yes,
I mean, how much are we
true.
learning right now because of the internet? I know a lot of it is videos, but how much of it is reading? I'm reading all the
True.
time.
I know, even math and science. I mean, everything is based on reading. If you don't know how to read and you can't really comprehend
Right,
it,
right.
it's not helping you any. So they're really a big, humongous push on the accelerated reading program, which is, some people know it as the AR program. Don't want to say it's like a program, but it's really just a base for the school to see the progress of the students more so.
I know when you're familiar with initials and you use them in the closed environment, everybody knows what AR means. But you mentioned it to me, and I think AR, I don't know what that means. Accelerated reading for the rest of us, right?
That's what it is,
Okay.
yes, sir.
And what helps with this is that the older students will become leaders and they'll become mentors to the younger students.
Yes.
And that way the younger students will look up to them and say, hey, I can do that.
Exactly. And his goal is to eventually get the school to, I know grades don't matter in the scheme of things, but he wants to make sure that the school becomes an A school within the next 3 years. And these are different goals that he has
Absolutely.
set forth, even though
Wouldn't want anything less.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
And that will make it happen.
I was telling Tracy that Alex went through all three of the Bellevue schools.
Yes,
and,
he did.
And he went on to become he was an amazing student then. He went on through University of Florida, and if you don't mind me bragging about my son, I'm proud, and I know he did well. He made me proud. I didn't, I was just there, so.
I understand that.
Tracy, let's take a little break, Tracy. Tracy Schmitt is here. We're helping her to do something really, it's a win-win for everybody. The folks who get the shoes, they're going to have shoes. The middleman, they're going to make a buck. The school is going to make a few dollars so they can put that toward their programs. And we will benefit from it as well, just because you know what? When your joy comes from giving, you can never be disappointed. So give some shoes. We will be right back with Tracy after we take our break, and we'll do that in a moment.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. On this Wednesday, partly sunny and very warm with a high of 85 near the coast, 91 inland. Partly cloudy Wednesday night, low 57 inland, 67 on the coast. Thursday, partly sunny and remaining very warm, high 84 on the coast, 90 inland. For Friday, clouds and sun, breezy and warm. A couple of showers and a thunderstorm are likely in the afternoon, the high 81 at the coast, 86 inland. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Instagram is also good for real estate because it's searchable. So you can search for a hashtag like a city name or even a certain neighborhood and find a listing you may not have seen otherwise. Rooms with candlelight and soft music help people eat about 120 fewer calories per meal compared to eating somewhere bright and loud. Would you like to be more likable and considered great leadership material? Just use your hand gestures wisely.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Big band lovers, listen up. Monday, April 3rd at 7:30 p.m. at the Riley Arts Center in Ocala, you will be able to enjoy the best of the Stan Kenton Legacy Orchestra. Ticket prices range from $8 to $30, so come out and hear Stan's most well-known music alongside fresh new material written in the Kenton style. Again, that will be Monday, April 3rd at 7:30 p.m. What a way to start a new week. He Here is your 30-second news brief. One of two children left in critical condition after a shooting in Sanford has died. The Florida House is one step closer to passing a medical marijuana amendment. Governor Scott has appealed a ruling that Florida lottery officials lacked the legal authority to approve a 15-year, $700 million contract. And it is Children's Week at the Florida State Capitol. The centerpiece is the Florida Kid Care program, providing low-cost health and dental insurance for all children. And that is your news brief from the source.
All right, 20 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Tracy Schmitt is here. We're talking about the Bellevue Middle School Gently Used and new Shoe Drive fundraising event. You have until the end of May. So if you've got some gently used, that would be gently. My shoes are never gently used, by the way. So I'll have to get some. I'll have to get some new ones. And these shoes are going to help people in other countries. We haven't really established where they're going. So maybe Tracy knows that. But the important thing is people we take shoes for granted. It's a fact of life in America. These people need shoes real badly for everything, just to get around. Tracy mentioned that walking is their main mode of transportation, so shoes are always important. And so if you have some, help them out. It'll help the school. It'll help pay for some of the programs right here in Bellevue. I'm sorry. So Robin was telling you, Tracy, that my mom used to make quilts when she was alive, and she made probably hundreds of these quilts, and she would make them, and the church would donate them to in the same kind of way you're doing, for poor people in other countries. So one day they showed the people in the church where their quilts were going, and they did a video, and they showed it in the church, and it was this beautiful story about these people who didn't have anything basically. And here comes the truck, and the truck has got loads of boxes, and they're unloading the boxes, and the children are ripping them open, and everybody's grabbing a quilt, and my mother's looking for her own. Did I make that one? I think I made that one. And then the little boy puts it around his shoulders, and he's walking through the mud. And my mother goes, "In the mud? All that work, and it's in the mud."
Don't think about that.
So when you were talking about the shoes, I didn't picture pavement. When Robin asked the high heels question, I was thinking, you can't wear high heels in the mud. Mm-hmm. But these people aren't necessarily living in mud shacks and places.
Not every one of them.
Okay.
A lot, but not every one.
Do you know where the shoes are going?
I do have a couple of countries that they do share these shoes with. One of them is Haiti. There's Nicaragua. Right, and Guatemala, Tanzania, and Togo. Those are a couple of the countries that they will be sending these shoes over to.
Okay.
So
Joe, our boss Joe, he'll be happy to know that some will go into Nicaragua.
That's right.
He just likes that country.
Oh, does he?
He's got a fascination with it. So well, it's a wonderful thing you're doing. You've got, by the way, a great voice. You're a great spokesperson for this event.
Oh, well.
You haven't heard that before?
I have not really heard that before, no, sir.
So you have two children in school?
I do, yes, sir. Well, I have two children in school. One's in elementary, and my oldest is in middle school.
Okay, and do you have other children?
I do not. I just have the two.
Okay. I thought when you said it that way, I thought maybe there was somebody who already graduated.
No,
you didn't look old enough for that.
I thought you meant that that I had two children in the middle school. I mean, no, I don't have two children in the middle school, just one in each elementary and middle school.
When you're doing this program, are you going to have an assembly at Bellevue Middle School to gather all the children together to have some kind of special shoe drop-off day or something, so they see their other friends contributing as well?
You know what? The way we have kind of organized it, which we may actually do that, in the long run if we don't make the 300 bags before May. But what we're trying to do is have each kid be encouraged to bring a pair of shoes in, and what we're doing is every week we're going to show them how we're reaching our goal, and so that they are a part of everything. And when they bring a pair of shoes in, the school has an incentive. It's called a Panther Buck, because we're the Panthers. We have a Panther Buck. And this Panther Buck is able to be spent. They have a little Panther Buck store. I apologize. Panther Buck store. And they have a Panther Buck where they're able to spend these dollars like they're real money. So that's kind of an incentive program that we are doing. We're saying every shoes that you bring in, you get these Panther Bucks to be able to spend in this store. So when they bring that shoe in,
wow,
they're doing that actually bringing it into their homeroom class right now. So I'm trying to encourage them to even reach out to their neighbors, to their friends and their family, and even their church communities to see about trying to get as many shoes as possible.
Wow,
So I am doing an incentive where any individual student that brings in however many shoes, within a certain amount of time, they are going to get a pretty good size reward. I haven't completely decided what that reward is, but I'm going to make a big deal about it. And also, I'm doing incentives for homeroom classes because that's who's in charge of collecting the shoes. So I'm creating this Golden Shoe Award that will be passing and traveling
Good for
through
you.
every week.
Oh, wow, yeah.
These classes will be able to have this for a whole week if they collect the most shoes within a period of a week's time. So we're doing incentives for them.
And how many pairs per bag?
We need 25 pairs to fill a bag of shoes.
And then you need 300 bags.
we need at least 300 bags.
until May.
Right, and this company that I'm working with, they have provided everything. We have not had to spend any money out of pocket for these bags. They give us rubber bands, they've given us all the marketing materials. They have great people that call me almost every week and see where we're at and help me with ideas, just helping me be able to promote it and get the word out so that they can, help us as much as they can to help us get these shoes. And I'm very grateful. They've given me so many ideas that I didn't have before. I'm very new to this. Like I said, my son just got into 6th grade, so I was a completely new parent to middle school. My son, this is a funny story because I'm very used to taking him to class on the first day of school.
Oh, yeah.
And I found out that's not what you do in 6th grade. You just drop them off and they go to this, local area in the middle of the school to get their schedules on the first day of school. So when I went and I said, so how do we go and take them to class? And she's like, oh, we don't do that. You just drop them off. And my son was so embarrassed that I had asked about taking him to class. He's like, Mom, why did you do that? I'm like, I don't know, I'm your mom. I mean, you're my baby, but I'm learning that I'm having to start let go a little bit because he is growing up.
Because you love your children.
It is, and you just want to take care of him, but he's such a good boy, and I'm so proud of him. So
The average shoe size in America is 10 and a half for a man. And where's the woman's one here? And it doesn't say for the woman.
I wear a
But
10.
a 10 and a half for a man. So I'm thinking that the average shoe size is probably something we should help out with if that's going to be most
bad
people wear.
idea.
But there's probably somebody out there with a 14 like me. Probably somebody with a
That's
big foot.
possible,
Probably
too.
some little children that need shoes too, right?
yes,
Probably
little-
all sizes,
little
I'm
babies,
guessing.
right? Little
Yeah.
babies, little children. I mean, any shoe. And I know baby shoes are very easy to donate if you have any of those that are extra. Because think about it, they don't really walk on them a lot.
That's
They're
right.
Like
That's
1,
right.
2, even 3-year-olds. I mean, how worn do little kids' shoes really get? I mean, you have play shoes, and then you have
Yeah,
shoes you
yeah,
wear out into town. Shoes that you wear to church. So
Are there
please.
are there anything you want us to avoid, like flip-flops? Do you want us to avoid flip-flops?
Thank you for that question. Yes, no flip-flops because it's not really something that, will really help them in the long run. But
Okay.
they're looking for, tennis shoes. You can do open-toed shoes,
Oh, you
like
can.
sandals and things like that, but no, like, flip-flop type shoes.
Okay. Let's give out contact information before we run out of time. How can people call you or call the school? What number do you want to give out? And don't give your own personal number if that's going to be a problem. Robin has a number here, but I don't want to read it unless it's something
I've
you
got the
want.
Bellevue Middle School number.
Oh, that's what that is?
If
Okay.
you've got the Bellevue Middle School number, that is definitely the number I would love them to contact. And if they would like to email the PTO, if they're interested in either being, if it's a local business and would love to put a drop-off box in their location, I would love to help them, help
okay.
us sponsor that way. It would be the bmspto20@gmail.com. So if you're interested in even participating and doing your own little shoe drive to help us get shoes that way, I would love to help you do that too.
All right.
I mean, whatever I can do.
The phone number for the school is 352, of course, 671-6235. Tracy Schmitt, you are a leader in your community. Thank you for allowing us to help you help others.
Oh, thank
And thank you
you.
for coming in here today. And we will continue to mention this to try to help raise awareness about the shoe drive, okay?
Wonderful. I'm so grateful for it.
Thank you. All right, we will take a little break. We'll be right back.